Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Space Engineers No Jetpack Survival. I'm currently sat down and my name is PsyPrime. Today we're going to carry on with what we've been doing for the last few times. Let's just familiarise myself. Red markers they're okay. They're safe. And yeah, we're going to finish off some more of that front sort of hangar, landing bay, deck repair jobby thing. We're also going to have to add some sensors to the whole rig because we want to make it safe to walk on, but we don't want to make it so that everything's either on or off. A little freeze. Okay. Saving already. Then again, I just spent a few minutes doing the intro, so that's going to happen. We're going to keep this episode as simple as possible from a recording point of view because I really just I want to be able to get this out to you as soon as possible. So we're not going to be doing too much fancy stuff on this one, just getting straight to building, problem solving, and see what comes out of it after about an hour from now. Before I go building in the walls and everything around here, we need to start thinking about, well, how do we access this area for repairs? So at some point in this episode, I want to be able to build some sort of an access hatch in there, maybe towards the front. We'll do like a little way in. But right now, we're going to need to put some sensors into these empty spaces and then work out the best way to configure them so that we can have like a rolling shut-off of these welders as we walk around so that it's completely safe. And then somehow we're going to have to test it. Yeah. In permadeath mode, which doesn't really mean a lot right now because we have a respawn point, but I don't want to have to respawn, so hopefully it doesn't mean certain death and we can see that it's working straight away or it's not before we die. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Right, so I need to get sensors on my thingy now. I need to remember where I put them, if they're still even there. No. No. Oh, yeah. 4. There we go. 1, 2. Let's put everything back. 1. Really? 2. You can fit 2 in our bar. Okay, we're going to have to do this in a few trips. Yay. I'm going to need a steel plate as well, otherwise I won't be able to get back up in a hurry. Okay. Let's get these in. Plop. Right, so the first one is going here. So we need to get out of the way of that square. 6, 7, nope, 7. 4, right. I need to figure out which way is the right way up for these things. There's a little arrow thing on the top somewhere, which I can't even see. Let's turn the lights off and see if I can see it better. Nope. No, no, no. I really can't see the arrows on this thing. It doesn't really matter anyway, as long as they're all the same way around. So I'm going to assume that the little yellow warning triangle needs to be sort of top left. That's just the assumption I'm going to make here. So, okay, 7, 4. Nope, that wasn't right. 6, nope, 6, 7. That's it. 4, right. Duh. Right. So on there, I'm going to put one here. Same way around. Okay. Yep, that's working. We're going to need a bunch of these, so how many more do we need? Right, so let's work it out. 1, 2, so 1, 2, yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 might do it. So that we end up with a few. We're making this up as we go along, obviously. I apologise if there's a lot of random weird waffle going on or silent patches. Just trying to pass the time. That's not what I wanted. I hope that's not what I gathered. Right, so that's in there. This one goes in here. 7, 4. That way around. 7, 4. I'm 7, 4ing verbally so that I don't forget which plate is the right way. That's the wrong way around. That's the right way around. I'm doing them all the same way around so that when I set them up, I can just sort of maybe copy to paste the settings over to each one. So, or at least sort of copy my settings anyway. Okay, so a couple more. Yeah, whatever. Duh. I'm surprised at how much resource these actually use. They're only tiny. You think you'd be able to put this in your backpack? Like, several of them. Maybe they're heavy. They might just be really heavy. Right. That way. Okay. Next one. Now we need one. The idea is each one of these is going to cover a grid of 9-ish. I mean, that one can't cover this block here, so I'm thinking maybe we should actually... Is that going... Is that just a straight... that's only a T. I'm wondering if we should have one here. One here to sort of finish this out properly, but it's not really necessary. And to be honest, this one here isn't really necessary, nor is the one on the end. So we could probably actually get rid of this and put it... Actually, no, we got all the ones we need, actually. Yeah, I should probably get rid of this. That's the one that's connecting in for the conveyor line, so I have to replace that with an actual conveyor. So we need a straight one. Actually, do we want a straight one? Do we want the means to bring other piping into other places? I think we go for something more like a T. We do it that way around. No, it'll be that way around. Yeah. That'll do. Of course. All the beeping. Forgive the beeping. I'll turn the beeping off at some point. Oh, actually, no. We don't need this one either. So this one's also going to have to be a T. 9, 3, same again. Get you on the thing. Go all the way back around here, deposit, pick up, and get some of these because I know we're going to need them. Right, so we're just sort of correcting this. We don't need that. Oh, that's too much stuff. So we'll have to weld the other one up first. Yep. Maybe I can finish unwelding this. There we are. Right, okay, so now 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Each one's going to cover a grid of 9. There'll be some overlap, which is fine. 9. 9's going to come out to here. We need to be a little bit further than 9 actually. Otherwise we will need a sensor on this side. Yeah, we'll go just slightly larger than 9. So given that that's dead center, that to there is 1.25 meters plus another 2.5 meters. That's 3.75 meters to every side. So if we go to 4 meters, 3.75, no, we go halfway into the next block, I think. So 2.5 plus 2.5 is 5 meters on all sides around each one of these. So that's the idea. We're going to name all these first. So big ship, big ship, repair sensor, and we're going to grid name these. So we've got 4, so we're going to call them columns A and B, rows 1 and 2, so this will be B2. So that one, I'm going to copy that name, so I can just paste name these things. So that will be A2. Think Excel spreadsheets. That will be A1. And the other one will be B1. Okay. B1. Right, so that's grid naming in place. So now A1 will set as the sort of template for the rest. So, right. What we're going to do, left and right extent, everything else, 5 meters. Actually, it's already 5. Okay, 5, 5. Bottom extent, doesn't have to be anything. Top extent will need to be, let's see, 2.5 meters goes up to the next floor, but not quite enough to get through the glass. So we're going to have to go 5 meters is fine, actually. That goes about as high as we are. So that's fine. Back extent, front extent. Oh, actually, no, top extent should be 5 because it's tops that way. So it's back extent. Bottom extent needs to be 5. Top and bottom in this case is that way and that way. Left, right, and then we've got front and back in orientation of that. So front will be 5, back will be nothing. Proximity alert, turn that off for now. Detect players, yes, on. Don't want it detecting ships and stuff because otherwise it'll turn itself off when you land on it. Detect only, yep. Detect friendly, yep. Detect neutral, yeah. Enemy, no. Neutral, fine with. We don't want to kill our guests as soon as they arrive, as soon as they undock from their ship. So that should be everything we need for that one. Now I wish there was just an option to sort of copy settings from here. Instead, what I will have to do is, let's see if I can remember how you do this. Insert. No, insert. Page up, copy. That's it. That's copied all settings. So it's going to overwrite the name, I think. Okay, and then we can go. What's paste? Paste. There we go. 2. Right. So page down to paste. Kind of wasted my time naming all these. Page down to paste. B1. Okay. So now they all work, but they're not making the noises. That's fine. Now I need to name all of these welders. Again, using the same sort of grid system. It's going to be a different grid to the actual sensors, though, because obviously the sensors are named on a different grid. Right. Oh, do we name? No, actually. Yeah, we'll just name them on a different grid. So this is column A, B, C, and so on. Row 1, 2, 3, and so on. So this one is going to be big ship, repair, welder, A2, and I'm going to have to close my visor. Right. So I apologise for the breathing that's going to follow. Nothing I can do about that. So that's A2, A3, A4. A4. Yep. This will be B1. Sorry if this bit's boring. B2. It basically, what this will do is it'll enable us to actually pinpoint exactly which one's broken if one does get broken. Oh, that won't be B2. 1, 2, 3, B4. I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, it's B5. That one. B3. Yes. So this will be C2. Oh, that was quick. C4. E2. And E4. So what that actually means now is that even if I have to repair it from underneath and try and find the right block to come in on to do it, because I'll have armor underneath these, then with a grid reference I've got a fairly good idea where to go for that. So that should help a lot, especially if I do a little bit of color coding on the other side so that we know what sort of dimensions this grid takes on the inside. Should be easy enough because that block is visible underneath, so is this. So we've got that T shape starting there, and I can say A1 is that first one there. Pretty easy there. Right, good. So now that I've got them all named, and then now need to access each sensor and tell it which ones it's going to turn off. So when this one's being detected, we need all the ones around it to turn off. So that'll be that one, that one, that one, and that one. I wonder if that could be done straight from here, if there's enough actual action options. Yes, there are. So that's when detected, that's when not detected. So this will be, let's see, repair, right. These are all in alphabetical order, which is great. So we need to turn off A2. So toggle block off. Toggle block on. Off, on. Good, right. The next one is B1. Toggle block off. Toggle block on. Make sure we've done these right. Off, on. Off, on. Yep. Next one would be B3. Off. On. B, and then behind me is C2. Off. On. Okay, so that's one done. So when I leave this space now, some of these will turn on. When I go to the next space, they should stay. Well, I'm going to stay here actually, so I can just do the next one. So there's going to be overlap. So set up actions. Okay. Right, I am standing on A. So this will be A4. So off. On. Okay. The one to my immediate left would be the middle B one. So that would be B3. Off. On. Then it's B5. Off. On. And the one on the other side is the far C1. So C4. Off. On. Okay. So that is all of these ones here sorted. Now I've got to make my way over to the other side. And some of these have turned themselves on. But these ones that I'm close to are off. This is working great. Off. On. And then E2. On. Now they're all on. Right, so if I've done my job right, yeah, these have turned. They're on. Approach, these turn off. They're all turning off. They've turned back on. They're off. Oh, game freeze. That is the safest welding grid you'll ever get. Even Speedweed can't hurt himself on this one. So, yeah, that's great. Those that don't get that reference, watch my original first series, Two Idiots on a Mission. The sound quality and stuff, it takes a while to sort of get sort of there, but I can promise you the entertainment and the action is worth it. Every step of the way. Right, anyway, so now that we got this thing working to a safe degree, no matter which way I walk, it just works, and it only turns off what needs to be off, so it's not disrupting function all the time. I dare an enemy to sort of on foot chase me through this field. That'd be great. Next thing I need to do is start putting some sort of, well, let's check my inventory, make sure I've got a load of rubbish in here that I don't need. Let's get rid of stuff. Replace it with a bunch of steel plate. Right. We're still going to be using steel plate for this bit. We're not interior blocks yet because this is very close to the outside of the ship here. So we're going to need to sort of continue this line across a bit. I definitely need to make this floor. So here we're definitely going to have one of them. Of course, you know, there's room here to bring a line or something out of here, so I'm leaving that as it is for the minute. We'll need to put like an access way in there, and probably one on the other side somewhere, but here I can definitely just solid block these in. And well, that's nice of it. Kind of scared me for a second, that as well. Okay. We could take that down. Right. Good. Right, so now we have the means to actually bring like a pipe or something through here, and it'll look pretty cool. That's in the wrong place, actually. Good. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of where the floor is going to be, this level here. We're going to have to figure out how to get down there and back up in a way that just works. I think it may end up having to be some sort of passageway from the front. So you come in, you go through a door, and you come back through a passageway underneath. I need energy. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll find a way back in from the front so that it's not quite so sort of there in your face and getting in the way of sort of docking stuff. So because that's going to be a passageway, I think what we need to do is put some sort of a panel over the top of that. So it's in line with the glass. Worth noting actually that the glass is actually one whole level higher than all of these blocks. So I may even have to panel like that, but I'm not going to do that yet because I'll reserve the right to put something on here should it be necessary. Just to make sure that it's not like, you know, limiting what we can place down. Because that glass, we can't put anything on that glass. Like, no block will sit on top of that glass, which is good because we want that as a repair area. It's there for that purpose, so we don't really want to be clustering it. But this area here, we may want to do stuff with. Have like other ship docking, which means we might want to put some like heavy armor plate over the top just to protect from thrusters and things. What are we shooting? I'm pretty convinced that spiders are back. I just don't know where. Okay. Well, if they try to get up here, they're going to get shot by my guns anyway, so we're going to be alright. And sooner or later, I am very soon actually probably going to put some guns on the bottom of this ship, because now that we've got ports available, we can actually start protecting the bottom of the ship from anything that may approach it. Oh, that's a little freeze. Must be saving. Right, so we've got a couple of panels here. Well, we've got a panel there. Let's put this one on. Just level with that block there, so we've got room to put something over the top of it if need be. Good. So at this point, really, yeah, we could probably continue that further out actually. And this extra thickness here is good because it keeps this hangar bay tough. We want it to be strong because it's likely to take fire from the outside because it'll have a ship in it or something. It's got to be a safe space for landing on. Alright, okay. Now here's where we've got some sort of shape stuff going on here. So I have to kind of think about what I actually want to put on there. I definitely want to end up with the full square at the top, but we kind of need to sort of blend it in with the bottom. So I think if we do that, so this shape here, in there, and here. Let's make sure we got that right. Yep. That shape there will blend that corner pretty well. Good. Right. How much more forward are we going to go? I think we can go a little bit more forward than this. Landing gear's way back there. We don't want to go too much more forward than this. But yeah, I think we don't need to put the way into the bottom there just yet. So we'll just do that for the moment. Right. Potentially we could take some of these out to do other things with, but I kind of want to keep this for, you know, just thick armor. I mean, without going super heavy. I mean, 2 layers of this is a little bit better than sort of heavy armor for weight. It's not quite as strong when it comes to being attacked, but for weight it's okay. Right, so now we're kind of at the end of what we built before. We need to go a bit wider somehow. So here we've already sort of sloped in. So let's see what would go in there quite nicely. It's got to end with a full block like that. And that kind of does... It sort of doesn't work, but at the same time... No, because it ends in a point at the end, and that's not really going to help us. I don't really want something that ends in a point. Just because it really cuts off loads of options later on. Ooh. Now there's an idea. Let's have a bit of a cubby shape in there. Something interesting that's just going to be different and sort of just happen. I sound crazy, but you know. So this would be like that. And that would be like that. Which means then if I go triangle, we can just have this shape just for the sake of a shape. We can panel over it a little bit just to strengthen it. Because otherwise these blocks are only attached at the very end. I don't know, the end one's alright actually. Right. I don't know why I did the last one that way. This is quicker. Right. Okay. I kind of want to go down and have a look at what we've just done, because it might look completely wrong and be a bit of a, like, let's undo that. Actually, no. That's alright. I quite like that it comes back down. Oh, freeze. Right, there. There's wrong, though. I need to take that out. That's not quite right there on each side. So the last two... Open my visor again. Last two, this bit here, and maybe blend that in as well. So, oof, okay. They're not quite right yet. So this shape here doesn't blend with what's going on there for starters. So we'll take you, and I feel that that shape needs to start blending away again. Right. Okay, but I do like what's going on there. That's kind of cool. I think we should weld up what we've got, just to make things easier to see. Okay. So that's welded back up, so now I'll be able to see the shape better. I am reserving the right to change these out to something that's a bit more patterned, because we do have those other blocks. Where are they? Did I put any on my bar? I probably didn't, actually. Floor center. Floor decal. That's got all the bits on it, so we can put that on there. Needs interior plate, but that's going to keep it a bit lighter. But pattern wise, oh, I could do long pieces. Wow, I forgot about that. That's going to make certain like hull sections much better. Although the downside to some of these is when you take out a big block like that, you take the whole lot out all at once. Aha. Now's what we're talking about. It's the decal ones I wanted. Okay, so I'm going to actually ditch what's in my inventory. Get some... actually, no, we're going to take out the blocks around this. All of them. Replace them with something like what I've just done. Oh, it's not going to work because we can't do it with the panels. Okay, scratch that idea. That's really not going to work because of these. We'll save that idea for when we do the actual bottom there. We might have some walkways and stuff that we have to sort of demark out off. That's fine. Okay, that's all right. We've got room to panel over the top of these if we want to put some like patterns and stuff in. So actually, was there a panel with any of these sort of colours and decals and things on? Decal. No. Okay. No, never mind. It was an idea. That's about as far as I'm going to go with this. Right. So what do we need to match up here? So we've got a full triangle, half a triangle. I need to sort of blend these in. That shouldn't be too hard to do. Let's get the colour right. So let's see. Well, that would work if I could see which way around it's going. I'm going to have to go downstairs to do some of this, I think. Just keep our eyes open for nasties. Right, because we've got some shapes going on here. We're running out of room here. Yeah, I think that is probably the way to go. Yeah. Need to get some steel plates. Forgot about that. So we reattach the ship back to the base. So that we still have materials and energy coming in and it's part of one grid. For now. Nope, that way, yep. Okay, so that's that taken care of. Then yeah, I sort of need to figure out that bit. Well, let's go up and weld those up. I can't even see what it looks like right now. Okay, we're about 40, yeah, about 40-ish minutes in, so... Right. Okay, so now we got a, like, dead end there. On that side, but not that side. So I need a shape that sort of finishes that off. Maybe it'd be in here. What is that actually doing that way? Not what I want it to do. So it kind of needs to be like a triangle with a bit cut off. So like a actual corner piece, to be honest. Not you. Maybe something like that. Except I can't actually see. I'm going to have to go back down. It's kind of part of the problem. You can't see what you're doing, so you can't put the blocks in. Well, I can't. Is that at any angle going to fill that in? No, it's not. It's the wrong shape. It's not a full triangle. So, that might. No, it won't. What about that one? I think there's one on a normal block, to be honest, but no. I think all these are too thin. Right, let's go back to a normal number 5 block. See what we have. Oh, we could just do that. But now I kind of want to corner it. Sort of start cutting it across. Almost right. But not quite. It's kind of going the wrong way, so... No. Oh, you see, it's designed to cut off like that. It's not designed to sort of go in the other side. That's as close as we're going to get. blend in. We're going to have to blend in on the next row, maybe. What's this actually doing? It's the same as that one, just the other side. But it does kind of come up the way we want it to. Yeah. Okay, and we're just the next level's going to have to do the thing. I think that's correct, right. Got to weld it. A lot of back and forth here, but what's necessary to make this work? Let's get some steel plates. Let's go back to where so we get the most. Right. So this has at least achieved what I wanted to do with getting the front sort of more squared off and larger at this level. Obviously, like, we need to leave some space at the front for any kind of weaponry and things as well, so that is going to add more shape to it, as well as potentially any like communication antennas, things like that we want to put in. Now, somewhere here we're going to have to still get into there, so I think maybe at this point is probably a good time to think about stairs going in. So I think if I put let me see, it's engineering stuff, so if I put them in like that, are we going to be able to walk down that? That might be problematic. Could do a ladder. Something like, ooh, ladder shaft. Let's put you on. Put you on there. I think a ladder shaft. Oh, that's gonna be so much better. Right, is it possible to? Right, when you go down a ladder shaft, okay, it's gonna have to go. It's gonna have to do that, but that way. It's like the end of the room. I need interior plates, but yeah, we can definitely do that. 2 ladder shafts. Put stuff back. 1. Whatever. I think I've got loads of stuff in there. 1. 2. We didn't get enough.
Energy low.
Energy's low. It's a good job we're going back to the energy thing. Come on, do your thing. There you go. Right. Going this way for this one. No, it's the other one. It's this one. Right, so we can bring this pipe in across here now. Oh. When we get to around maybe, let's see, can that be changed into something else? Maybe that's pipes in all through there. I think when we get to about actually that's interesting. This is slightly problematic. I think we probably have to come into maybe here, or go like one further in and then come into here, change some of these out for cargo blocks, and then we can get some cargo into the front. We could possibly change these into some other kind of block, but that's probably going to lose these. So maybe that one actually. Don't know if that's stuck there or not. I'd rather pipe them in. I'd much rather pipe them through this way. So we're going to have to widen this out. Oh, we've got... Okay, we'll keep going. Yeah, we'll keep going with that. So this is again, it's kind of going along my lines of kind of just get your shape right and sort of start hacking into it to get the additional functions and stuff in. Yeah, I didn't need to do anything with that, so I might end up just plating over it and leaving it as a spare, or we'll see. I'm not sure yet. We have access from the ladder shaft all the way down through this anyway, so at this point here we're going to need to have on this specific block we need, let's see, 9 through 9 3, let go before you change the thing, right? We're going to need something along the lines of, ooh, that the right way up. We need interior plates. Ugh. So we need 2 of them. Yeah, that's the right way. Right. So that would be like that. I'm challenging these by running. It's not tricking it. Is that the right way up? Yep. Is that going to look silly on the stairs though? Yeah, that's not good. Okay, can't do that. Wrong kind of block. 9-3, right. Let's get this right now. Something like that. But it's going to have to be a C. What's a T like? Don't think a T helps us at all. Not unless we need a port on the top. Do we need a port on the top? Not really. And if we were doing that, we'd have to do it that way around anyway, so that it's a blank side towards the stairs. But do we want a port to the top? Not there, because I think that might make things really bloody awkward. Oh, actually, no, maybe. Yeah, we're going to do that. So I kind of like thinking on the fly here, but nope. Nope. Yeah, that way. Sort of making it up as we go along. Discovering possibilities as we go. But yeah, I'm thinking actually with that on the top there, I can still put a solid wall here to protect the stairs from the landing pad. Well, just a little bit of a wall. Freeze. But we can use that part of the wall to have some sort of cargo access port, because that's going to be important right next to the repair pad. Because any areas that these can't repair, like too high up in whatever it's repairing, we're going to need access to cargo to do it manually, unless we have some sort of repair system across the top. But that's going to really eat into the space we've got and limit the size of the ships, which is a problem we always had in past builds. Don't want to go down that route. So here, now we're free to have our favourite kind of pipey pipes, the actual ones that look like pipes, and actually operate like conveyors. Do I not have them on my bar anymore? My favourite pipe. There they are. Okay, so we just want straight ones, but we kind of want to play with them a little bit. Kind of want to go end, just to sort of, yeah, hide a little bit of the sort of nastiness of that. And then we can go kind of a flanged. Flangey flange. Straight pipe. And at this point, no, we can keep going. At this point, it's not as visible, so we'll stop there because I don't know really what I'm going to do with the rest of that. Right, let's do the other side. It doesn't have to be a perfect match. It's the end pipe, then the flanged, the other way. I need interior plates. I know that's more than interior plates, but you're going to need those parts anyway, so yep. And then straightforward pipes to, how far did we go? One more. Duh. Right, let's weld it what we can. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maxed out build planner. And we are approaching an hour. So we'll get at least this bit done before we end. So I don't want to end it here. But this carries on our spine. A little lower down than before. Carries on the spine. We could potentially run some sort of a line through there to the top as well. But this will bring cargo to the front, which means potentially more like front weapon ports, or something else. I mean, we've also got these ports here on each side to carry on cargo up to whatever deck's above there. Actually, no, there's not really going to be a deck above this, but we might have some sort of a docking circle, what do you call it, connector thing. So we may want that cargo access at the top. Yeah, the reason why there's no deck above this is because you're going to have hangar doors to let ships in. Which I am going to have to figure out at some point, next episode maybe, or the one after. We'll see how long it takes us to get to the point where we're actually got a roof on this bit. How has it said? Okay, it's interesting. I didn't manage to get the materials for that bit. Probably because we were a little out of sync before, because I used a bunch of the interior plates to place all of these down in the first place. There we are. Right. So now we've got that. And an access port to it. And to all of this. What I can do on here. Yeah, I can put some paneling over the top of this. Kind of comes in line with the glass. So, oh, we glass. Do we glass? It'll make it a little harder to know where to land your ship. No, we're going to have to panel. It would just get a bit silly otherwise. So, 2, 3. You're not going to want to put things on top of this bit anyway. There's a pipe below it. There we are. Right. So we'll have to probably do something here to sort of keep these stuck on, or on the outside. We'll develop a walkway area anyway, and there'll be panels in there to say where you can walk, and that'll help keep all this on. So yeah, let's get a load of steel plate to weld those up. I'm constantly thinking about like cargo lines, access panels, backup lines, and being conscious not to shut any area that we build off from being sort of manually accessible for repair. Now, you're probably wondering, at least one or two of you might be, why I did a sort of pretty looking pipe when we could have done the sort of square conveyors and put them in here to walk on. However, when you get down here, I'm not going to do it right now because when you get off there's nowhere to land. So when you get down here, this is going to be something quite cool to look at, and from here you can kind of see this sort of piping coming in. I might put something there. Kind of this needs something. But yeah, you can see kind of like the engineering coming in and feeding the front of the ship, and it looks cool. And half of this is to look cool. As I said at the beginning of this build, all the stuff this ship was made to do, like the whole purpose of this mission, I could have done with the little ship I've got in my hangar over there. Just slower. This ship has to look cool, and it's going to be good for other people off the workshop. So, cool pipes. Right. I think this is a good place to leave this one for the time being. Made a lot of progress here. We've flattened out this deck, so it's now actually a usable space. We've baby-proofed or speed-proofed or prime-proofed the repair bay, and it's really cool. No mucking around with turning them on and off. It handles itself. And we've run a couple of cargo lines to the front so that we can pop some big weapons on the front of here if need be. Got a couple of ladders in. I've never used this one, so they're great. Joined everything up, and hopefully from the outside this doesn't look too terrible. Yeah, you see when that comes up a bit more to the sides so we can get the walls on, crikey, that's going to look even better. I quite just like this interesting shape that we've got here. It serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever, but it's kind of cool. It just adds a bit of 3D to this whole thing. I just want to make sure I've got this matched up. Yeah, that's right. It comes in there a little bit. Yeah, I like it. It's good enough for me. Here we've got loads of room to put some weapons on the bottom of this. We've got our pick of where we want to put everything, but generally speaking, that is A1, and all we have to do is make sure that's identifiable as A1 at any time, so I know which one's which when it comes to repairing something from outside. All good. Right, I've waffled for long enough. Thank you very, very much for joining me on this obtuse journey. I've enjoyed being here. We're going to carry on next week. I think next time what we're going to do is a bit more of the actual bay at the front, try and get to the point where we can start putting a roof on it, or at least start planning the roof. And then we can start tackling the way we're going to do the giant hangar bay, which I've got some ideas. I'm not sure yet. We are limited by what's available to do it, so we're going to have to maybe make something up. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic weekend, fantastic week, and whatever else you have between now and next time, where we'll catch you for another No Jetpack Survival. Bye for now.